Hey Jacksonville, I'm Jacob with Wilman Air, and this is our first episode of Jumpin Jax, where we go on a little journey down a service call we did earlier in the day, and we kind of break it down and tell you what we did. So we had a report of no power to a thermostat. We arrive on site, and sure enough, there's no power to the thermostat. We verify all breakers are on, so there's power going to the indoor and outdoor units, which we check with our multimeter. We have 24 volts coming from the transformer. By the way, this is a transformer. It goes in your air handler, and it goes in the top compartment where the heater and all the electrical connections are done. It basically steps down your high voltage, 240 on an air handler, steps it down to 24 volts. That 24 volts is then used to power your thermostat and used as control signals. So we verify that we do have 24 volts coming from the transformer, but the fuse, the inline fuse to protect the transformer, is blown. It's a 3 amp fuse. So when this happens, we generally have a component that has gone bad and is drawing too much power, or we have an electrical short. So basically a wire may have come undone, or a wire may have got nicked or rubbed up against something and rubbed away the insulation, and that now touched the chassis of the equipment, which is essentially ground. And without any sort of resistance, boom, that's going to draw a lot of amperage and blow that low volt fuse. Okay, so we started diagnosing, and first thing we did after we found that is we took out the fuse, which looks like this. Okay, you can see the filament in the middle. That is what will blow. It'll actually look like a little burn mark if you somehow see it and it's blown. You'll see like a little black burn mark. This one is clear, and I'm not sure if you can see it there, but nice clear silver filament in the shape of the letter Z. So we know that's a good fuse. On the top of it is written the letter 3, so we know it's a 3 amp fuse. That was blown, so we removed that, and in place we put a resettable fuse. These things are really cool, great for troubleshooting. You can put it in, and if there's a short, it just pops this little button and shows a little white top, and you can then reset it. That way you're not putting in fuse after fuse after fuse and burning through your whole stash of fuses or having to order more, which is really annoying. And it's not that expensive, but it's money wasted. So this is a great investment for future technicians. Resettable fuse. So we insert it, and nothing happens. Okay, so we go to the thermostat, power. Thermostat has power. So awesome. We're excited. Not really, not a big deal. Okay. Thermostat has power, and we continue to troubleshoot. We explain to the client that they now have power. Their low voltage fuse was blown. We walk them through every step of what we did, how we put in the resettable fuse, and how we are going to continue to troubleshoot the low voltage circuit to see where this over amperage draw came from. Took about a half an hour tracing all the wires, running it through different modes, heat, electric heat, even though we're not in that season yet, cooling, fan only. We inspected the low voltage wires through the attic, going down the exterior wall and into the outdoor unit. A lot of times that's where we'll find low voltage issues, is actually on the thermostat wire going to the outdoor unit on the exterior of the house. They're not meant to be exposed to UV or all that weather. Sometimes they get chewed up by weed whackers. Sometimes they just vibrate against the outdoor unit because that piece of equipment tends to vibrate more than the indoor unit. Nothing. Everything was fine. Visual inspection was great. Nothing was overdrawing amperage. We took amp readings and showed the homeowner that as well. Finally, we basically said, we don't know. We want you to monitor the system. We can't stay here all day. You monitor the system, and if it looks like your thermostat shuts off again, try to remember if the AC was running right before it, or were you playing with anything, touching the outside unit, or were the lawn guys here jostling wires around while they were trying to weed whack around it, anything of that nature. Come to find out, she says, I'll do that, but I've had to change that thermostat 3 times today. Okay. So you changed the thermostat 3 times today? Yes, I bought 3 different thermostats. Had to keep bringing them back. I asked, or my technician asked, why did you change the thermostat in the first place? She wanted to upgrade to something with some Wi-Fi compatibility. The original thermostat was working fine. A lot of you who have a little bit of experience knew right when I said she changed the thermostat by herself, you knew what the problem was, okay? She did not turn off her heat breaker. Your heat breaker that feeds your high voltage going to your indoor unit also feeds into this transformer. Okay, and that gives you your 24 volts going to that thermostat. So there's always 24 volts AC going to that thermostat until you turn off that heat breaker. She did not turn off the breaker. We verified that. She said she did not. So when she was taking out those wires, at one point, she touched the positive 24 volts to the common and spark, pop, there goes the fuse. She put on the thermostat, got it all wired up, and voila, no power to the thermostat. She assumed it was bad. She did that 2 more times before calling us to come out there. So easy peasy. Just interesting that she didn't state that she tried to change that thermostat 3 times today already, but that's okay. So just so you know, if you're ever going to mess with low voltage and you want to change something or test something, you need to turn power off to the indoor unit, which would be your heat breaker, in order to eliminate any voltage on the low volt circuit. Thank you for joining me for Jumpin Jax. Y'all stay blessed.